up, everybody? Welcome back to the Tree House, presented by DSGN Tree. I'm here, as always, with Dan Lear, Naj Taylor, and we have a very special guest joining us tonight, Josh Lyons from the Phifth Quarter. Welcome, buddy. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. We got a lot of new things in the books coming for the Phifth Quarter. I'm sure you'll see it all over Twitter and social media coming up soon. But for right now, I think we just have to jump into it. What a weekend for Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah.
Starts off, Isaiah Thomas in the crowd. Guy just wanted a Frosty, saying a lot of profane words. And my man just wanted a Frosty. Phifth Quarter dropped a Frosty shirt this morning, actually. So make sure you check out their shop page as well, too. Guy just wanted a Frosty.
Look, Isaiah, it's not that serious, man.
It's really not that serious.
It's frozen chocolate. What, Nash?
It's not that serious for dude to do all that.
Who, Frost guy who wanted a
Yeah,
Frosty?
Frosty guy.
Have you ever had a
Man, have you ever been
yes,
cheering
I've had
for
a
a Frosty
Frosty.
freeze-out?
It's
like
terrible.
Pretty exhilarating.
Okay.
Are you not a fan of the Frosty Freeze-Out?
No, not at all.
When's the last Sixers
I'm
game
not
you
a,
attended?
I'm not a fan of Frosties.
Well, if you're not a fan of Frosties, then I
Last
don't
season?
even know.
I haven't been one this year.
I don't know.
They had the Frosty freeze-out.
What do you think about the Frosty Freeze-Out?
I just think it's fun to essentially just get the fan base to cheer in the second half when the team's trying to miss free throws. Like they used to just give out those sticks that everyone would hit and
Boom six.
and, it's whatever. But
Not
now they
effective.
gave some incentive, and obviously it's a way for Wendy's to make money because they brand themselves on it. And
Right.
That's true.
You ever said "fuck you, bitch" to someone for
I have
not
not.
missing free throws?
I have not.
Okay.
I have not.
All right.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. And to be honest with you,
It's a little outlandish, but like, our city, get some drinks in your system.
Yeah, that's Philly.
That's just how we are.
and I think,
sure.
looking at it too, it's just like, I honestly think there was no problem with Isaiah Thomas going out there and just like addressing the fan, and I think his response was perfect. I think he just wanted a Frosty. It's a very lighthearted situation, even though there was like a lot of profanity and the fact that an NBA player went into the crowd, but like his post-game interview about it, like I kind of agreed with him. He's like, man, I got people yelling at me. Should he went into the crowd? Probably not. But the response was perfect.
It was.
And
It was.
Phifth Quarter selling a lot of those Frosty shirts. So.
Oh,
But
the shirts are great.
It seemed like something where like it could have been a lot worse, but the way they attacked it was great. Like IT did the right thing, but he might not have done the right thing by going up to the fan. But like when he went up there, he didn't like go crazy on him. Like he approached him, said like, hey, like. You shouldn't be saying that, like, whatever.
Right.
The fan did the correct thing by then, like, apologizing, cracking a joke about how he just wanted a Frosty.
Right.
It sort of mitigated everything. It probably didn't need to happen, but, like, at least it was sort of, like, as casual as possible. And then knowing the media, they blew it up to something bigger than what it needed to be. But it could have been a lot worse, and I think, if anything, it's more of a laugh than something to, like,
100%.
to get mad at the fan about or to get mad at IT. I don't think he deserved to be suspended.
No.
Yeah, the punishment on both sides.
Yeah,
Just like,
it was harsh on both
Let's
ends.
relax.
Right.
Yeah.
But moving on, that kicked off the weekend for us, right? Or was that Saturday night? That was Saturday night. Same thing. While Sixers game is going on, you had the Cowboys heading into, I believe, Del Frisco Steakhouse, and were greeted with the entire restaurant singing "Fly Eagles Fly." Right?
That's awesome.
And then obviously we roll into Sunday, and you have the Eagles-Cowboys game. Eagles won. We're going to dive into that too. Post-game, some drunk dude broke into Doug Peterson's press conference.
That was so funny. He could have kept his cool. He could have just sat there and like do whatever, but he had to like spew some shit out of there. And just,
What did he even say?
He asked about Eli Manning.
Right.
Something
I
about
thought
like
I heard
are you ready for
something.
Eli to play next week or Daniel Jones or something like that? And
then another great response. In return from there, Doug Peterson was like, oh, well, this is going to be on SportsCenter. But he should have said, oh, this is going to be on the Treehouse spot, in my personal opinion.
True,
But,
yeah.
We're here.
He's aiming low there.
Right. Now, before we jump in and talk quick Eagles, Cowboys, Phifth Quarter, and then the Sixers, let's check in with our super producers over there.
What's
Mikey.
up, guys?
and Max.
It's good.
So, Mikey, you watched your first Sixers game at the bar on Friday. Thoughts, questions, concerns?
Yeah, nothing really. I didn't really know what was going on. They were losing like 10 points like the whole time. The scores were fluctuating. I was looking for my boy Joe Embiid the whole time.
Joel, yeah.
Yeah.
Joe?
Am I still pronouncing his name wrong? Well,
You say Joel?
No, that's fine.
I
They were
said
doing
Joe
the sports
Embiid.
ball thing.
Joe Embiid.
Oh, sorry, dude.
Did you just apologize to Joel Embiid?
He might be watching. I don't know.
I hope so.
Yeah, but yeah, good stuff, man. I felt like I was finally doing some homework for the pod.
Love it.
We appreciate it.
Love it.
Oh, and also I was listening to some of the football game going on in an Uber ride. So there's that.
Wow.
Did you hear?
Look at
Mikey
you,
all
dude.
over the
Way to
place.
go.
A round of applause.
All over the place.
Thanks, guys.
Max, what's up, man? I want to first say thank you for getting out over a couple thousand T-shirts in the last 30 months for Design Tree. Before the holidays, we have about, I don't even know how many pending orders, but none that were due by Christmas. So, quick round of applause to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, this is the truth.
So the applause
So,
circle.
You're a beast.
what's
sir.
up, man? Did you watch the Eagles game yesterday?
Hell no.
What were you doing
What do
yesterday?
you do that's fun?
I do a lot of like
They're
art
music
projects.
guys.
Music and
like music.
visual art.
Heaven's sake, Mikey, go ahead, plug your band, plug
Right
your
here,
podcast.
we got new merch. Link in bio.
Will not be in our bio.
Not in our bio.
A big show that went down in Philly this Saturday was Man Overboard. They did their holiday reunion show that they do once a year, and shit was lit. Real Philadelphia pop punk royalty right there. Man Overboard, plug.
Wow. All right.
Interesting. Cool.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm open to anything.
for sure. But yeah, so again, Eagles, Cowboys, big victory. Carson Wentz, last 3 games, 94 for 143, 71% completion rate, 910 yards, 6 TDs, and no interceptions. The man's clutch. We're looking good. Miles Sanders is the real deal.
Oh yeah.
Big win for us. I was actually down there tailgating as usual. We had the Philly Pod, Victor Williams. We had We the Process and Process Potables all jam-packed into the back of our RV. Go check out the episode. We had drunk tailgaters coming in, ripping off takes. We had a really good time. And then it was capped off by that fantastic Eagles victory, and we're on to play the Giants in New York for the NFC East. So it'll be good. Jordan Howard's back. We released Jay Ajayi today, but that's kind of what we do. We bring back old players, then release them.
It's kind of weird.
It is, but
Why does it keep happening?
I mean, it's business, I guess. But Miles Sanders, Jordan Howard back. The game has been flexed to 4:25, which is always better than a 1 o'clock game, in my opinion. Dallas was also flexed at that time, so we can't sit there and see what they did and rest players, all that shit. So it'll be good. I'm feeling confident. Not as confident as a lot of people, just because anytime you play a division rival on the road, it's tough. I believe we're 3-4 on the road. And how you guys feeling?
I could not be more confident about going
Okay.
into New York and destroying the Giants. I'm really not worried about what they have to offer. I know the Cowboys are going to beat the Redskins, but I mean,
We're going to hope that
Giants
they
have
don't.
no one on defense.
Is Dallas home? Are they
Yeah,
home?
Dallas.
home.
Dallas
They should
can't
win that
lose
game.
really,
They should.
unless Dak's still hurt. But no,
Hurt.
I'm not worried
Hurt.
about the Giants.
Isn't the Giants quarterback hurt too?
No, I think
No,
they're
He
Daniel
just had a
Jones
big
play.
game.
He's back?
He just had a big
Okay.
game.
That's the
he's
one problem when you go to an Eagles game. Like, I totally miss everything else that happened in the NFL. I couldn't tell you anyone who won or lost yesterday.
Okay.
Granted, we were up at 6:30 a.m. driving down and tailgating, and I didn't get home till 11 p.m. So I just totally missed anything that happened in the football world. But the Seahawks lost?
Yes.
Seahawks lost
They
to the
look
Cardinals.
bad. And not
Yeah.
only did they look bad, but Kyler Murray was out for the whole second half. And
Okay.
Brett Hundley came in and absolutely destroyed the Seahawks secondary. It made no sense.
Wow.
It made absolutely no sense.
Well, that's kind of good for us, right? I mean, I think their division will still be on the line next week when they play the Niners.
Yeah, if Seattle beats the 49ers, they can still win their division. So the loser of that game, if the Eagles win against the Giants or the Cowboys lose against the Redskins, the winner of Seattle and San Fran plays in the link.
Okay.
The loser,
So.
but yeah.
The loser, yes.
The loser, sorry.
Yeah,
the
Seattle
loser,
or
yeah.
49ers.
Which
Who do you prefer to play?
I prefer the Seahawks. I'm still sticking with the Seahawks, Dan. I know you want to play the Niners. I don't like the Niners' defensive line. Eric McClear, actually, who works in Russell Ortiz marketing with us, is a Niners fan.
So weird.
And I mean, it's so weird, but
Yeah,
so weird.
Eric's a good guy. But I don't want to play the 49ers defense. I feel more confident with Seattle coming into town again and beating us again in January at the Link. There's no way that happens.
I disagree.
I disagree as well.
I completely disagree.
Russell Wilson, Jimmy G.
Give me Garoppolo's first real experience playing on the road in the playoffs over Russell Wilson, who could do that in his sleep.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where he's going. He's still Russell Wilson. He could have a bad game, but you give him playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
You give him the chance to shine, and he's got weapons.
Yeah.
So I mean, Garoppolo's got weapons too, but Garoppolo's never been in that kind of pressure
Right.
situation. And the defense is
Exactly.
iffy for Seattle, which is good. But if you can overcome San Francisco's defense, I think you can absolutely demolish Garoppolo. And that's why I would like it. And to plug my own Twitter, I tweeted something.
There you go.
Like-
Flash your Twitter.
Yeah, I
handle.
tweeted something a month ago that said, isn't it crazy that, the Eagles are going to play a home game at the Link to beat the 49ers on, January 5th or something?
Wow.
So I think it was, after the Miami
Look
game.
at that.
Okay.
So,
I mean, that's pretty good right there.
Well-aged take.
If I do this, will you bing his Twitter thing?
Yeah, man. You already binged it.
Yeah, we'll just keep binging it, flashing it when I
just
do that.
one here, one there, one up there, just all around the screen.
Making a lot of work
Big
for
bings
me.
everywhere.
Really happy about that.
But yeah, I mean, so
You keep saying this thing about, the Seahawks aren't going to win in Philly twice. I mean, what's the difference? Why can't they do that twice in the same season? It doesn't really seem to be a strong argument from my perspective.
I mean, it might not be a strong argument. It's just kind of a gut feeling I have. I think it's super hard to come into. It's hard to win regardless in the NFL, and losing the way we did last time against the Seahawks in a low-scoring game, I just don't see them coming in and beating us again. We're more familiar with them. We had a great game plan against them last time. If it wasn't for a couple drop passes here and there, then we probably would have won that game. So maybe it's just a familiarity I have with the Seahawks.
Okay.
But I just don't see the Eagles, regardless, against either team, losing at home in the playoffs in January. I just don't see it.
Really?
I mean, that stadium last night, it was absolutely insane. And the noise level and everything, I don't see either of those teams beating us. More likely, not really sure about the seeding, but I would see us probably losing the second round at New Orleans if the seeding works that way, but I didn't check.
We would be going to either Seattle or 49ers, I believe, because the winner, or actually no, if the 49ers win, they'll be the 1 seed, so we would go to them in the second round. But the Saints still have a shot.
What
at
about
the
the
1
second?
seed too.
Okay. Yeah.
We're playing the 1 seed second
Gotcha.
round if we get there.
All right, well then, yeah. I
Unless-
just said it. We'll beat them both then.
Unless the 6th seed is to win in the
The other
3-6
wild card
matchup.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be
The
Minnesota?
Vikings probably.
Vikings.
Unless,
So
depending
Viking-
on how tonight goes.
Vikings
Right.
would
It's
play.
it's still really up in the air.
Who would they play?
In the first round.
Yeah, if they were the 6, it's the 3 still popping around, right?
They would be playing. Who is the
Because it's New Orleans, Green Bay, San
They
Francisco.
would play Green Bay.
They play Green Bay.
Yeah. That's the Green Bay or
Okay, so it'd be
Vikings going to
Green
be
Bay.
the 3 seed.
Okay, there it is.
There it
But-
is. We got it, guys. We got it. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not feeling that great about the Eagles right now. I mean, yeah, we beat the Cowboys, and it feels good. Dak Prescott was obviously injured, missed multiple huge throws that could have changed the game completely. I mean, he overthrew Tavon Austin on that easy
Country roads take me
touchdown.
home, West Virginia, baby.
He overthrew Amari Cooper on a big third down. I mean, guy was clearly injured, and we're coming off the last 3 weeks competitive matches with the Redskins, Giants, and Miami Dolphins. So to me, we're playing more at that level than at the 49ers Seahawks level. I think that there's a really good chance we're in for a rude awakening.
And that's why you keep the expectations low.
Right.
Like I said
Mantra.
before we
And they
recorded,
are.
That's right.
since the Miami game, you keep the expectations low. You can't get mad at yourself, and you can only be excited for them actually winning games because that's what's happened.
Under promise, over deliver.
Yes, exactly.
There you go. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. We're not recording next week, but we will be back on January 6th with Branded Sports. So I'm sure we'll have plenty to talk about then. We'll probably be gearing up, or just that would be after the first week of the playoffs. So when the Eagles are still in it, we're gonna have to do something to hang you upside down from the ceiling or something.
Dope. Bring back the Nerf gun.
Yeah, bring back the Nerf gun that Mikey hits you a lot with.
That's fine. It's good TV.
There's-
I do it for the viewers.
Well, it sounds like we do a lot worse to you, so we'll
Maybe
do
we
that.
get up to 7,000 views this time.
All right. But, yeah, I mean, shifting gears just a little bit, let's talk Sixers. But before we do that, we have to talk the man of the hour, Fifth Quarter.
I'm not that important.
You were one of the first people actually DSGN Tree reached out to, started working with. We started selling merch. You and Ryan were both up here. Shout out to Ryan. He's over there at KYW right now, just dishing
Enjoying life.
just dishing out some quality news content over there during his day/night job. But happy to have you here. Like, I don't even know where to start. Like, what is the Fifth Quarter? I know, but for those who don't know, like, let's
Right.
talk about the Fifth Quarter, where it came from, who's involved, how it started.
So it essentially started when I was in college. So this was maybe three and a half years ago. So I was like a junior in college.
Temple, right?
Temple.
Yep.
TU.
Another Temple guy right here.
There you go.
Love it. We're everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
So it started at Temple. I do marketing, so I wasn't in like the sports media, but like I obviously enjoy talking about sports, and I have a presence online and all that fun stuff. But I basically got asked to essentially join. At the time, it was called 215 Sports, which is now Wildfire Sports.
Yep.
So I
Also a part of the tree.
Yep. So I was able to come in and essentially just go and like just sort of see what it's like to work for like a brand and sort of just understand all that fun stuff. I ended up doing a hockey podcast called The Odd Man Rush that only lasted like 3 episodes.
Okay.
But it was on that same network. And I did that with Ryan and Joe, another member of the Fifth Quarter. But then it sort of came to the idea is, maybe we should all come together, do a basketball show. They already had a basketball show that was called The Fifth Quarter, that Ryan was on, and that David Fenster was on, and Pat Kelly.
Love Dave. Shout
So-
out Dave.
Yeah, Dave. Yeah, I also live with Dave, so that's always
there
fun.
you go.
What's up, Dave?
Oh, we
How
see
you
you.
doing,
Sorry
man?
you didn't make the Blue Coats, man. That was a good tryout, though.
So,
I'll send you the video later.
So essentially, the 5 of us came together and said, "Hey, let's just go like attack, like let's just go do like a Sixers brand."
Yeah.
And it started us just doing like 1-hour live shows on the radio. And then after we graduated, we felt like, hey, let's like branch off, do our own thing. Like things were going well, and that's sort of how we sort of came together and became our own, which is awesome. Yeah, I mean that's really it.
I mean, and then just like Twitter, which I personally have taken a lot of your strategy and everything on Twitter and use it, especially the giveaways. I'll never forget the first time we ran a giveaway with you guys. It was right when we first started working together. And we did it with a couple other branches before. We get a couple followers or whatever here and there. And we ran that first giveaway and went from 100 followers to 1,100 followers immediately.
Yeah, so that's something that we take.
It's like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that we love doing. We do try and say how, like, you know, we're like the fans group. Like, we always want to do stuff for the fans. We want people you know, to join us if they're innovators, they're creators, they want to do anything to help us, but also help their careers and their paths and get themselves started. So when we saw the opportunity to work with you guys, we said, hey, like, you know, you guys are giving us a platform now to create merchandise. We would love to help you as a brand grow your social. So we have this, you know, this way of, we like giving stuff away. And we don't care that it's coming out of our pockets. We just want to give stuff away. We think it's a good way to give back, but also keep the community tight. Engaged. So I thought, yep, exactly. So it was sort of something we tackled right away. And you know, now that we have a great chance to always do giveaways with you guys, we like teaming up with other brands, other groups, other sports, whatever we feel, and it's all just to give back to the community and you know, the sports fans all over the place. So it's been awesome.
For sure. And I know you know, you guys do giveaways with did the Sixers win? Kevin as well, also part of the tree, great guy. But yeah, man, it's been pretty crazy. You guys, your Twitter's growing like crazy. You've helped us grow. Yeah, it's been crazy. And just so, like, when we're talking about this stuff, you know, I know, you know, I always am texting you late at night. We're trying to figure out shirts and stuff. And you are now here with John Star's creator over there, Max.
There he goes.
There you go. That's a big Fifth Quarter item right there.
I love that. Thank you. It was awesome. So it's literally one of my favorite designs we have. So thank you so much.
Yes. So we helped you out with that one. Obviously the tap out, which was huge. That was literally
Good moment.
Those are so fun.
At midnight.
It's very. It's like the craziness happens. We're back and forth talking, and then within like 24 hours, I get a text like, "Here's the designer." Not even like 12 hours.
Yeah.
Just like
My favorite part about that one is you got it in Kat's replies as like one of the top replies.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, Kat saw that.
Right.
Definitely
you know he saw that. He was just like, "What the fuck? How'd they get this already?" Like,
Yeah.
Shout out. For
Sorry,
creating
Kat.
That one.
Nah, it's right there.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No
Kat.
apologies to Kat.
But you know, that's like the funny part of it too, right? Because, you know, I'm always talking to these branches, and I turn around, I just literally, all you have to do is turn around and be like, "Yo, Max, I need a Monstars t-shirt, but John Stars with the Sixers starting lineup." And he's like, "All right," and then he does it.
Yeah, I mean,
It's crazy because I can't draw a stick figure. My Photoshop game is on point. I put up those Frosty t-shirts today myself.
Yeah, you keep saying
Okay,
that.
let's not have people believe that that's true.
He won't
It's
let this go.
100% true.
He won't let this go.
It's 100% true. But no, it really is. It's a testament to what Naj and Max do.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Thank you both.
Yeah.
It's hard to ignore Drew texting me at 12 a.m. while I'm trying to go to sleep
They're not sleeping.
during the end of this
Right,
fucking
man.
Sixers game, and I'm falling asleep on my couch and my phone's blowing up because Drew needs a design.
Yeah. And what we had,
Now you're making me
It's
feel
all-
bad.
no, and then we had it within the hour, and I mean, turn around, we sold a couple hundred of the tap out stuff. So huge success. Speaking of Ben Simmons, tap out. What is going on with the Sixers? I know, Josh, you're on Twitter echoing pretty much the same thing that we all feel as well too. It's like, yo, everyone just take it easy. Take it easy. It's tough on Twitter sometimes.
We do live in a world where everything is extremely negative, and you get like this feeling of pride when you're going and attacking someone instead of like flipping it the other way. I mean, like, how can we be better? It's let me talk as much shit as possible to get those likes and retweets.
Right.
And
That's a
it's
great
just,
point.
It's dumb. It's like, listen, they have problems. There's things they got to work on. There's things Ben Simmons needs to do that's better. But instead of talking about how you got to fire the coach and how you have to, you know, trade everyone, why don't you just like give it some time, give them a week or two, figure it out, fine tune everything.
Right.
You got to think logically. You got to think more about like I don't know. It just drives me insane.
No, I mean, I hear you. And I know one of your tweets recently, you were talking about, you know, all right, we're having some issues right now in December with zone defenses.
Yeah.
It's a lot better now to figure that out in December where we have months to correct it echoing what Dan said last podcast, like, we're built and we're playing, we're already going to the playoffs. So, like, let's find out all of our weaknesses, where we can improve, what we can do to get better now. So, come playoff time, we're ready to rock.
Yeah, you're also talking about a team that, again, like the starting five hasn't played more than maybe like 15 games together.
Right.
And, there's always someone injured, and there's always someone, where they're sitting out on a back-to-back, which is normal.
Right.
But there's no reason to, blow up the team. There's no reason to overreact. Obviously, there's things that are causing problems, and there's
Right.
obviously things that need to change. And if they don't change, then yes, then you can start talking about firing people and sitting people and trading people. But, like, we're talking about 25 to 30 games into, the first season with this crew. And you're also
Right.
talking
Right.
about a team that is one of the most talented in the NBA.
Top five.
And,
Easy.
yeah, easily.
Easy.
And, yes, are they going to probably have some trouble on Wednesday against the Bucks? Probably. Do I still think they have a good chance to win? Yes, because they're still extremely talented, and if you can somehow find a way to stop Giannis, which is hard to do, but if you
Right.
could find a way to, or at least mitigate it to a point, they got a good chance. They're talented, and losing Matisse sucks.
Yeah.
Because he is my son, and I love him dearly.
There you go.
But
Matisse style
We all
emoji.
love
Yes.
Matisse.
but they'll find a way to fine tune it, and there's nothing to worry. There's nothing to truly worry about. You can be concerned, but you're not. Please, they'll be okay. They will be okay. The Sixers will be completely okay. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we live in a social media now, and everyone's reacting after every single game. Before, you'd kind of watch a few games and then talk to your Sixers friend, and then you'd react then. Now it's like everyone's reacting after every game, and everyone's pointing out one thing that happened in one game with one player and making a huge deal about it. And yeah, you just have to have a little bit more patience. And like you said, we got all year, and we're gonna be fine.
Yeah, I mean, and when it comes to patience, though, and look, I'm with you guys 100%, but when it comes to being patient, the city of Philadelphia just has a problem being patient. I mean, you look at it, and Ben Simmons, like, he's super young. Giannis has been in the league for 6-7 years. Granted, he was always shooting. But, I mean, are we just pushing our players way too fast? Now, I don't think, we talked about this yesterday when I was on the We The Process pod, it's like, I don't think that Markelle Fultz would have been a good fit on this team anymore, and we probably wouldn't have the pieces we have now if he was. Mm-hmm. But I think we just got to be patient. I mean, I would love for Ben Simmons to come out and say what Giannis said the other night, where he's just going to keep shooting. Doesn't matter if he makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, misses them all. He's going to keep shooting because that's what his team wants to do. Now, will criticize Ben Simmons on that point. It's just like, everyone wants you to shoot. Why the hell are you not shooting the ball?
He's worried about his percentage. 100%.
No.
Yes, he is. That's why he won't shoot the ball. There's no other excuse.
You think he cares a lot about the 3-point percentage in the box score on his career number?
I do. I think Ben worries about his numbers a lot.
I mean,
I
think there's some truth to that, but only in the fact because, like, when everyone asks him about shooting, he's like, "What are you talking about? I'm already an all-star. I was rookie of the year." Like, those were his reasons for not shooting when he talks to the media.
Well, I mean,
so I see where you're coming from. Whether that's true or not, I'm not sure, but there has to be something with Ben Simmons' progression, and maybe we shouldn't expect anything for another 3 to 4 years.
Possibly.
But does that take us out of our championship window with a big guy like Joel Embiid who's injury prone?
Well, that's the thing with it, is that you can look at this team and recognize that there are potentially some, like, deep-seated problems with our stars being compatible and things like that. And, if you're another team, if you're like the Mavericks or something, you're like, yeah, I know our team isn't going to go to the finals this year, but we're on a clear, steady projection. Our team is getting better. Our players are getting better every year. And I could definitely see why there's concern when we're not seeing that as much. I mean, Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons look exactly like they did last year. There's really no difference. Tobias, I guess his defense is better. So there are some deep-seated problems with the team that people can start to really work themselves up. And when they're tweeting all the time and thinking about it all the time, you can start to get a little worried. So I do understand that concern. It's not like we have a very weird player, Ben Simmons. Like, he's not traditional in any way, and
True.
it can be easy to freak yourself out about it. So I definitely can understand why some people get really concerned about the team that we do have.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So, something else I think it might be is, like, you hear him talk about how long it takes big men to develop in the league, right? I mean, technically, Ben Simmons is a big man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Plays with a guard skill set, but it doesn't mean we should expect him to develop as fast as a guard should, I suppose. Like, you see the huge jump Matisse takes as soon as he starts getting some more minutes.
Right.
I mean, Ben Simmons never had that jump. You know what I mean? Granted, he came in doing, like, big numbers, but it's been a straight line ever since. You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure his numbers are worse than his rookie year.
Yeah.
Like, his scoring's definitely down.
I think everything's down this year so far.
Yeah, so...
Again, we don't really check facts, but I'm pretty sure that's the case.
JoJo's numbers are down too, though.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But I mean,
it could just be a
it
team.
Could be
it could be a team
concerning.
thing.
I am a patience guy because I do think, there's no reason for it's not like our window is super tight or anything.
Right.
It's not like we have a 30-year-old aging superstar
right.
named
Shout out
Jimmy Butler.
So much Jimmy slander.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can get the concern about the team, and we do need to start seeing some improvement on that. And like you said, if zone defenses we all know why zone defenses are causing problems for us.
Right.
Yeah.
We all see Ben Simmons in the fourth quarter running away from the ball. There are some legitimate concerns.
Yeah.
Not posting up Kimball Walker, which is ridiculous.
Not only
Makes
that, but
no
then not
sense.
posting up Isaiah Thomas. Like, he was like, why aren't you posting up these guards who are literally like 1.5 feet smaller than you? I don't know.
Yeah, it's the one major concern I have. I tweet about it all the time. Is like there are so many times where Ben can just attack the rim,
Right.
And he just has the one point guard to beat who tends to always be smaller. So you give him the body and you go up strong. Worst case scenario, you miss and you get fouled.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess worst case scenario you miss, but like most of the time he's gonna get fouled because when you're strong enough and you can get through that guy, and even when the help comes, it's still very hard to always get blocked. So he comes in strong, he goes up strong. Worst case, he goes for a dunk, he gets fouled. And he has to do that way more often. He ends up dishing the ball, which causes turnovers,
Exactly,
or he's fading away. You need to see him go stronger to the hoop, play with more tenacity. You get this aggressive Ben, and you see it once every 4 or 5 games, and you
Nets
see it.
playoffs last year in
And you
Brooklyn.
He's a monster.
And you see it, and you're like, holy shit! Like this is the guy that we've
Unstoppable.
always wanted, always hoped for. He's great, and then he does that for 2 quarters, and then for some reason, it just disappears. It disappears for quarters. It disappears for games. I don't know if it's just a mental thing. I don't know if he just is. I don't know if he's worried about his numbers or if he's worried about getting hurt. But he has the size and the strength and the ability to take the ball strong, especially when most of his matchups are smaller than him. So it's the one thing that I'm a huge Ben Simmons guy. I'm a Ben Simmons preacher. I don't want him going. I don't want him going anywhere.
Too.
He'll be here for the next 5 years at the
he's
tune of
not
180.
he's not going to LA. Everyone
Right.
thinks he's going to go to LA. He's not going to LA. He's not going anywhere, and he will get better. But I just need him. I'm not worried about his shooting. If he doesn't shoot another 3, I don't care.
I don't care for the threes.
If he doesn't take pull-up jumps from the elbow, I don't care. If he goes strong, if he doesn't go strong to the hoop, and he doesn't go play with more aggression under the basket, then I'll be mad at him. Then then it's really concerning.
Okay.
But it's just that one thing that bothers me because he's that type of player. He's that bully. He's literally that bully that he sometimes gets bullied by guys 3-4 inches smaller than him. So it just doesn't make sense sometimes. But
Yeah. I mean, and you look at that too, and Victor Williams always says this as well too. We were talking about it yesterday. It's like Ben Simmons doesn't have to shoot, just to echo to what you just said, but he has to then be that aggressive player where he's going to dunk it in your face. He's going to get to the line. He's going to, start posting up and getting down low and in the nitty gritty and, getting buckets. Because right now you can't have one or the other. He's not shooting. The shot selection he's taking, not that great. But that all goes away if he just takes the ball right to the net and starts posterizing people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think that he has never viewed himself as a scorer. It's like not part of his game.
Right.
Like you watch his game and a lot of times he's not looking to score. It's like when you're out on the court and you're playing with a bunch of players who are definitely better than you and you're kind of just like, all right, I'm just going to not make a mistake. I'm not going to shoot. And like I feel like he has that mentality sometimes.
Right. It's almost just, like that kind of like Euro type of mentality, the way he plays basketball. I mean, Australian guy, but it's that pass, playmaker, distribute the ball, move it. But
which he's so good at too.
He's so good at it.
He's very good.
It's unbelievable, but it's just like there has to be a time where he has this mindset of like,
Right.
let's just go strong to the hoop. Let me score. Let me be the scorer, and he just.
And I've heard him say before, like, "Oh, why would I shoot when someone else is a better shooter than me?" And it's annoying. It pisses me off.
Yeah. I've also heard him. This was way back, like around his rookie season. I want to say, when they asked him why don't you shoot, he's like, I never had to shoot in college.
Right.
It's not part of his game. I mean, if you play basketball for 20 years and you never have to shoot a three-pointer,
Exactly.
it's like you can see him. He'll give the ball up, and it's like, dude, if you just fade back to the three-point line, you're in a much better. Your spacing is way better. It's not in his mind. It's not like part of his instincts playing basketball.
Yeah.
And he needs to fix that, and Brett needs to kind of get him to do that. He needs to tell him, hey, you're going to be in the corner on some of these possessions.
So who's not listening to who? Do you think Brett Brown is not clearly communicating this to Ben Simmons? Do you think he is and Ben Simmons isn't receptive? Or is the communication that Brett is giving just isn't hitting home for whatever reason?
I mean, it's one of those things I have no idea which
Right.
one it would be. I don't know if Ben Simmons, I don't know if they're like having arguments about it. I don't know if Brett's being aggressive enough with telling him that he needs to be doing that. It's definitely something because we were told at the beginning of the year, Ben's going to be shooting. Ben made his three. He's going to be taking one of those a game, and it has not been happening.
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't it happening?
That's something we talked about earlier. When it's like, when you got your coach in press conferences talking about, like, I want Ben to shoot more threes. Mm-hmm. He's like, well, tell him that. You know what I mean? Like, tell him, like, okay, well, you don't want to shoot, so, like, we're cutting you 5 minutes off your playing time.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And part of that was, it was 1 3 and it was like 8 free throws, right? At least, don't worry about the 3. Worry about him getting to the line. And that brings up what I was saying before. Like, if he's not going to shoot the 3, fine. But if he can get himself to the line or get more people to the line, then that'd be totally fine with me.
Right.
But I feel like the past like 5 or 6 games, they just haven't been able to. They're just not playing strong under the basket at all. It's just. I mean, again, zone defense, but which is heavy 3-pointers, but. There's just no way for. Let's go back before they were getting zone playing on them. They just weren't attacking the rim that strong, or they were just feeding Embiid for that kind of stuff, which is a whole other story. Because it annoys me a lot when he just stands there at the 3-point line.
Right.
yeah.
But like that's a whole other conversation. But they just something's not right, and it's fixable. And like that's all I can try to say. It's completely fixable. There's no reason to blow anything up. There's just some weird connection that's not working with 2 extremely unique talents that the NBA has ever seen, and the Sixers have both of them, of course. So they got to figure them out.
Yep.
So it's a whole shit show. But like they'll be fine.
Right.
Yeah.
They'll be completely fine.
There's a way to make this work. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think Ben needs a 3 either. I do think he needs at least a mid-range. It's like, to your point, what you said last week, when Joel's trying to post up and Ben is just literally standing right there.
Yeah,
Like, you can't do anything.
Not much room
But
to work.
Ridiculous.
if you want to at least let a mid-range go, which he can make, I don't have any doubt that he can make a mid-range shot. That's all I need. Mm-hmm. I just think the day of the non-shooting point guard is done.
Yep.
But he doesn't need a 3. He doesn't need to be a knockdown shooter.
Tweet just in from the 5th quarter. Sixers just went on a 12-3 run. They're up 56-44 in Detroit tonight. So
Nice.
like seeing that.
That would be good momentum going into Wednesday
What?
against
Wednesday
Milwaukee.
is
If
Giannis.
We're winning. We're winning that
assuming
game.
they hold on to that lead,
Yeah.
because we know they don't like holding on to big leads.
That's
so.
an inconsistent ass team though, the Pistons. So I'm not really worried about them.
No,
They are inconsistent as hell.
no. But looking at the NBA, Shams tweeted out
Oh,
a couple days ago,
Oh, yeah, this is
this is a
which
talking
I still don't really understand, but basically the NBA has sent teams a proposal for the 2021-2022 season to change it to 78 games. So you're removing 4 games from the regular season schedule. And then you're going to have an in-season tournament where each player, $1 million, $1.5 million for a coach's pool for the championship. Play-in tourneys for 7 and 8 playoff seeds, final 4 reseed in the playoffs based on regular season records. What is this about, and why do I hate it so much and not understand it?
Okay, so all right, just to go over what it is.
Please.
Because it's a lot.
Go from the
It's
beginning.
It's a lot.
Okay, so obviously 78 games, that's pretty easy to understand. They're
Sure.
removing 4 games. The play-in tournament for 7 to 8, basically the first 6 seeds are in the playoffs. Everyone else is going to do a tournament to see who gets 7 or 8. Not sure how that'll affect lottery stuff, draft picks. I'm sure they have been thought about that, but we'll see how that goes. The in-season tournament, it's just something to have fun with, I guess. Like, I don't think $1 million is a big enough incentive for someone to risk getting injured.
Well, not only that, you have a mid-season tournament now, and you set that up. Like, what does that? When do you do that? You already have an All-Star break. You have playoffs that last like 4 months long already, and now you want to what? Take another week out of the season, possibly more, and run a mid-season tournament?
All it's doing is taking that 4-game stretch that goes over
because they're
10
losing
days.
TV money, a lot
and
of TV money.
using those 10 days to do like
Right.
a mini tournament that goes 5-6 days. I personally don't like that. I like everything that he's talking about, or about the league is talking about, except for one, and that's the tournament.
Right.
Because I think 78 games is great because that limits back-to-backs. That's 4 games that you don't have to worry about a team going back-to-back. People
Yeah.
stay more healthy,
Yeah.
more energized. Fine. Give me 78 games. The in-game tournament, stupid. I hate
Makes
it.
no sense.
Makes no sense.
I don't even think any
Why would anyone
starters
do that?
would even
Yeah.
like play in that tournament.
Exactly.
Right?
You're
Too
worrying
small
about
of an
players
incentive.
not carrying, injuries. Like, literally, it means nothing for what really matters, which is
Right.
the playoffs later in the year. What was the other one? It was the
reseeding of the
reseed-
conference.
So the
reseeding.
reseeding in the playoffs, fine, because then you're getting a chance for like the best team in the West to play against the second best team in the East
Sure.
in the semifinals, which would be cool. It would be different. It would be weird.
I don't like that one.
That's okay. So that's a maybe.
But I'm just saying, like, you have an in-season tournament, and like the Sixers had an in-season tournament. I don't see our starters playing it. Maybe sparingly, but you're gonna have this in-season tournament, and then all of a sudden you're gonna have a team like a middle-of-the-pack team who's gonna play all their starters because they have nothing to lose, winning this tournament.
Right.
And you're gonna have
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess the Pacers are pretty good, but some like mid-road range team.
Like the Miami Heat
yeah.
probably would be a perfect contender
Right.
for this tournament.
Right.
Right.
Or like the Charlotte
I
Hornets will
like-
go ahead and win the mid-season tournament. Like,
Hornets are sneaky good this year.
right, but they're
They're
not like
sneaky.
that elite level, and it's just I don't know. I'm not
That
really
one,
a fan
I
of
think that one's just clearly done.
Yeah, I think that's done.
Right.
They needed better incentives for that.
Yeah. So then it comes down to the last one, which is the
Play-in tourney,
play-in-
7 and 8.
I think that's interesting.
I like
That's
that.
fun.
I like that too.
Now you're talking about like teams on the fringe that were like 9 and 10. I don't know if it's going to be everyone or if it's just going to be maybe like the top 4 teams in each conference or
Right.
like the last 4 teams in each conference. But then it gives a little bit more. Sometimes you get to the end of the year and you already know the 8 teams with like a couple games left, and there's no real way for a team to make that leap to become the 8th seed or the 7th seed. So now you have a way for
Yeah.
the top 6 to get in, and then 6 through 10 or whatever to at least have like a nice fun end of the season tournament instead of mid-season tournament to play into the playoffs.
Yeah, it means something.
It actually means
There'll
something.
be
something.
some good storylines that come out of
Exactly.
that, for sure.
So I think it's sort of like the March Madness when you have like a Cinderella team that comes in, so you have like the 10 seed that makes it out of the end of the year tournament that gets them to be the 8th seed in the finals or in the NBA playoffs, and then they get to play against the 1 seed.
Yeah.
So it's just it's a little different. It's a little fun.
That'll be more fun than like the maybe occasionally you get a game where the 8 and 9 play each other at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Exactly, but. They're doing too much.
It's a lot at once.
Something I've heard. Go ahead.
I do not like the reseeding of 1 through 4.
Really?
2 reasons. One, this might be a little bit get off my lawn-ish of me, but like,
Here we go.
I love just like the Eastern Conference Finals, the Western Conference Finals. Like, we're not gonna have that anymore. It's just gonna be called the 1 through 4 Finals series. Like, what is that?
What do you call it?
And then my other thing is that travel can actually start to make an impact.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the West travels more already, but if you have, the Boston Celtics playing the Los Angeles Lakers and then, I don't know, the Bulls playing the Timberwolves, all of a sudden the Bulls and the Timberwolves are traveling far less than the Lakers and the Celtics. And that really can start to impact the games and impact the teams.
Especially when Joel Embiid has to fit on an airplane. He's so tall. Like trying to fit on an airplane when you're over 7 feet tall.
And that's not gonna benefit the West Coast again because they're coming to the East.
Right.
And I don't know. I don't really like. I think that occasionally it would be good 2 years ago if we saw the Rockets and the Warriors in the finals instead of the Cavs and the Warriors, but that's just how it is. I mean, conferences are a thing in every sport. I think that it makes more rivalries and there's more classic conference finals games that we're not going to see anymore. It's just going to be random teams playing each other.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason why they're thinking about doing this is because their ratings are down.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know. Their ratings went down and they freaked out and have 4 crazy changes.
And they're changing the league. I mean, I like some of these ideas, but changing the league like that as a whole isn't going to up the ratings. Upping the ratings is getting rid of TNT and that crappy crew.
Oh!
It's awful. I hated Players Only. I still hate Players Only.
Oh, Players Only's trash.
Players Only was
Players
awful.
Only's trash.
Now you're talking about the same people that were on Players Only still doing stuff on TNT. Give me real analysis.
Wait.
Give me real commentators. Don't give me former players just laughing on the sideline about a basketball game.
What, are you going to trash Chuck like that?
Chuck, if you want to come on the podcast, I'm down to debate it all day long.
Open invite for Chuck.
Yo, Chuck can barely talk, so I don't think that debate will last long.
I'll shoot the shit with Chuck. I'll shoot the shit with Shaq. Whoever wants to talk, I'm all about
Oh,
it.
shit.
The crew is awful. Give me Mark and Ala every night.
Yeah. I mean,
They're just kind of old. It's just, it's just.
I like them.
It's just, I love watching it too, but for entertainment, not
Listen,
for sports
listen,
commentary.
When they're sitting, the 4 of them, during the halftime show,
It's useless.
It's entertaining.
Yeah.
It's fun. But now you're having these people try and give analysis. You're trying to have former basketball players that were absolutely incredible at the game and have every right to be personalities for the sport.
Right.
But they want them to give analysis on the game, which ends up just them comparing other players from other generations to other teams that just don't make sense to me.
They love just bringing out a personal anecdote and comparing the situation.
So let them do all the fun stuff.
Yeah.
But give me I just want more national broadcasters doing the national games instead of players doing the national games. That's all I want to change.
Right.
You don't like when Kenny jumps into the screen and.
But that's at
Oh,
halftime.
going to the
That's
board.
fun.
Going to the board.
Yeah, going to the
Right.
board. That's
They're-
fun because they don't have to worry about talking about how that game is going and who needs to step up in the actual analysis.
Yeah, their analysis, the part they do spend analyzing the games is useless.
Yeah.
Because they don't do. If I got Sixers have been on TNT maybe 5 or 6 times already this year, something like that. All I hear is comparisons. Joel Embiid doesn't have Giannis's attitude, and he's a star, and he needs to have that same attitude.
It's lazy narrative.
It's over and over again. The last time got the most attention, but it's not the first time they've done it.
Exactly.
It's all they ever talk about.
And again, it could be because us as Philly guys are so used to the media not really taking like the real facts, and they're just going with like whatever the casual narrative is.
100%.
But like this is also talking about like if it's not the Sixers, like you turn on the game and it's like Lakers and like last year or 2 years ago it was like Lakers Warriors,
Right.
Yeah.
and it's like it's supposed to be a really fun game with a lot of exciting guys, and then all of a sudden you're worrying about like them not like during big plays, during big dunks, during huge threes. They're just talking over the game. They're
Yep.
They're not like I want to hear a Mike Breen bang when someone hits a three. Not like Chris Webber talking about the one time he crossed up some guy like at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
No one cares, Chris.
Chris Webber is terrible. Broadcasting, every game he played in a Sixers uniform, he's just awful.
It's just all
I
it
remember
is.
being so excited about Chris Webber.
Yeah,
I was like
just-
9 years old.
Just give me like Ian Eagle on like a TNT game or like there's so many good broadcasters.
Give me Jalen Rose. There you go.
You're a
Jalen
Jalen
Rose?
guy.
Yeah, that's a Fat Five reference. Come on, Joe.
Well, I know but it's also on Jalen and
And
Jacoby and
Jalen Rose is a
Jalen's
far
lit.
better sportscaster than
I
Chris
guess.
Webber.
I just can't stop watching Ben Simmons go 360 alley-oop from Toby,
Oh, look at him attacking the rim like that.
putting that in.
It's like he was listening to me from before.
Right. There you go.
He's
They
a
must have
monster,
it
man.
echoing in the Pistons Stadium live treehouse.
This is you gotta throw this up because nobody knows what we're talking about.
That's fine.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We're moving towards the holiday season. Christmas is in 2 days. We have some hard-hitting Christmas questions for you, Josh, for Max, for Mikey. You guys ready?
Ready.
I don't know if I'm ready. I think I'm ready.
You better get ready.
What kind of questions are these?
Number 1,
Okay.
yes or no? Start with Mikey and just roll it all the way around. Inflatable Christmas decorations on the front yard. Fan? Not a fan?
So I'd never have it because I I feel like it's an eyesore on the rest of the neighborhood, and a lot of these motherfuckers, they after the season's over, after the season's over, they don't put it away, and it'll be sitting there till the next season.
Yeah.
So not a fan.
Not a fan. Max?
I'm gonna say yes,
Oh.
but I do agree with that you need to put your shit away after it's Christmas. But yeah, I don't know. They're fun. Like wacky inflatable like tube men. Like you're gonna tell me that's not fun?
Josh?
As the Jew in the room, no.
Oh, sorry.
Damn.
It's okay. I actually like them a lot,
Okay.
but I don't put them up ever and never will because I'll be lighting the menorah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah, happy
Thanks.
Hanukkah, my friend.
But I do enjoy them.
Okay.
It is cool. Maybe it's because I don't celebrate Christmas, where it's cool to see this time of the year like crazy lights and crazy things because people go absolutely insane
Yep.
and
Yeah.
all out for it. So,
Yeah.
and maybe it's because I never have the hassle of worrying about putting them up,
Right.
and that's why I like them.
That's
So,
my mom.
yes.
My mom's going crazy right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a hard no. And reason being is
Wow.
like during the day when those things are like deflated, it just looks like people have like it looks people just have like broken like
That's a
big
good
balloons.
That's what I'm saying.
all
It's
over
awful.
You gotta
their
let it
yard.
run
And
24/7.
it's like the winter and like the grass is always like a little more dead and like then all of a sudden you just have like it looks like just like a bunch of trash all over your yard.
Wow.
I can't have that.
Eyesore.
Eyesore.
Wait, you're trying to tell me that Santa doesn't look fucking cool in like the snow and shit at night with the lights like shining on?
I'm
it?
sure he does, but
Fire.
and then
Well, I'm
Santa
just like-
deflates
You're
it
not
all.
getting snow this year during Christmas, so.
No.
I'm sad.
All right, Nash.
I'm gonna go yes. I'm gonna agree with my boy Max over there. I'm a big Christmas guy. It's my favorite time of the year. So what you said, people do go ape shit with Christmas shit. I literally just paid money to drive through Shady Brook Farms.
Oh
which is,
yeah, that's
I
fun.
just paid money to look at Christmas lights. So
Nothing wrong with that.
I'll be driving past it on my way home. So.
it's fucking great.
Yeah.
You can
gonna-
see it from 95.
I'm gonna go with yes as well. My uncle is actually super into him. He's got like a 15-foot abominable snowman
15
in
foot?
the front yard. He gets like
great.
new ones every year. He's always trying to give them away. I don't know if I personally would have him in my house just because I don't like to work hard.
Right.
But I mean, I
not
don't have a
great to
problem
say on
with
a
him.
work
It
podcast,
is a
but-
good point.
I'm sorry, but imagine being a person that gets in their car, drives to the store, and purchases a big inflatable Santa Claus. Who are these people?
Just regular
They're a little
ass people.
expensive. I will say
They're
that. I don't own
expensive.
any.
I don't know.
They're a little expensive.
Collectors, man.
It's weird.
It's doing their thing.
All right. Best Christmas present you ever received and your worst Christmas present you ever received. That also goes for Hanukkah as well, too. What you got? What's the
Okay.
best?
Okay, best, obviously, my first guitar. As soon as I got it, I ran upstairs and
Watch,
tried learning.
His band real quick.
And then I started band, and then
band,
it
started
evolved.
singing podcast.
Shout out Heaven's Sake. Worst present. So, one year my dad forgot to get me Christmas presents, and my mom
Tough
kept.
day. It's a
And
mess.
my mom was trying to break his balls about it. She's like, "Where's your
forgot
present you're
for
gonna
like
give
2
Mikey
months."
Clyde?" And
It does change every year, so.
he ran upstairs real quick, grabbed a dust buster that I guess he got at his work holiday party, and bagged it up and brought it down. He's like, "Here." It
got
was
a
so
dust
obvious.
buster.
Yeah,
So
that was possible.
So you got to use
That sounds kind of fire.
I was like 12. I was just like, "What the hell is this?"
I would love a dustbuster for Christmas right now.
Max?
My
I'll get you a
best,
Dustbuster.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
probably I got a Wii, like back
Okay.
when I was really young.
Yes.
And that shit was it
you
just
had
had just
my Wii
come
came
out.
out.
It was
Yeah.
just fucking
I
lit.
Wait, we were
I was-
14 when we came out, Max.
Yeah, I would
that's
consider that
young.
young.
All
That's
right,
young.
okay.
That's
How do
like
you, wait,
young.
you just know when the Wii came out off the top of your head?
I was in ninth grade. I was in ninth
Okay.
grade.
well, I would say that's probably my best present, and then my worst. All right, so I had this uncle growing up.
Oh, boy.
It's a terrible way to start a story, but it's just a regular ass uncle.
Okay.
And he was really into like collectible cars, and he would just give me one every year, and I just didn't know what to do.
Toy cars.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if you're complaining about getting a collectible automobile, then
Oh no, they weren't worth any money. They were probably like you just pick them up at like wherever for
Right.
like $20. I appreciate the gift, the sentiment, but I didn't do anything with them.
right.
Why not just give them
I
away?
got you. Very unexciting gift.
Yeah.
So the best would probably be there was I forgot what year it was, but there's just like one year where the big gifts, because like on Hanukkah you get like one every day, and
Gotcha.
there was one year that like we didn't get any until like the last day, and it was because that we were going on like a big like family vacation. So like that was probably the best. It was like I was probably like 13 or 14. It was cool. We went on like I think we went on a cruise that year.
Nice.
But it was a cool way. Like we rarely go on vacation. So it was a cool way to like, you know, to basically like surprise us into doing a fun thing with the family. And then to piggyback on that, like the worst is probably because on normal years you get like one every day instead of like it all going at once, like during Christmas time. You know, there's just some days you get like a pair of socks or like there's like an article of clothing that like you don't feel like wearing, and like obviously it's nice and it's like it's holiday themed, but it's just like a pair of socks, like
Yeah, the sweater.
yeah. So that would be mine.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, my dad is notoriously probably one of the worst Christmas present givers ever. You guys might like this gift, but one year he came home with 3 leather jackets for me and my 2 brothers. Now, I'm not talking a cool leather jacket.
Sons of Anarchy, like
I'm not talking like one that you would throw on over a hoodie and it'll look great, anything like that. I'm talking like a big, bulky leather jacket that he like thought were the coolest things ever. And this was like 2 years ago. It's like big.
Damn, wait, what? What?
And he comes home with these expensive, like big, bulky leather jackets with like tassels on them and stuff. And he gave them to me and my brothers. And we were all just like, what the hell is this?
Wait, so did you wear them out of
No,
feeling bad?
absolutely not.
Is your dad gonna listen to this?
Yeah, my dad will listen to it. He knows. You know. He knows. The best had to be, I'm going to date myself a little bit, but kind of like what Max said, N64. N64 came out.
Wow.
Hottest thing ever. You get Mario 64, you get Mario Kart, and that was
Smash.
by far Super Smash.
Yep.
Shout out to my little brother, still plays Smash Brothers.
Love that.
That had to be the best gift.
Yeah,
For sure.
it's always exciting.
What you got?
Let's start with best. This happened in the same year, so there's 2 gifts, but it's the same year. I got like a limited release black and white Eagles McNabb jersey. I was a huge McNabb guy back then, not now.
Turned on him.
Wow.
No, McNabb's he's wild. In that same year, my parents are split, so that I got that at my dad's house Christmas Eve morning, and then Christmas Day morning, I got a fucking GameCube, which was
Those sound like both good.
that was the best system in existence. It's never been a better system than a
I can
GameCube.
agree with that.
And
Yeah.
64 is
Big
way
facts.
better.
No, you're out of your mind.
I'm
Game,
it could be because I'm younger,
GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
but like I was a big GameCube guy.
it was the best game system ever made. But
Still
those
have one.
was my best
Still have
Christmas.
one
Yeah, I
at
have
my
one too.
apartment right now.
Fantastic. Worse. Very similar to yours. I too got a leather fucking jacket.
I'll tell you what, man, you gotta be careful with those leather
I was in
jackets, dude.
5th grade, and I got a big ass brown leather jacket, a big Avarex fucking jacket, said Avarex across the back. You know, I know it's name brand, but I'm not wearing a big ass leather jacket in 5th grade. That'll get you fucked up. But I look like a fucking pilot.
Right.
It was
I hear it. It's tough.
a well made jacket though.
Right. The thought was there, just the style wasn't. I got you.
My best was, it's funny, I was actually either going to say the Wii or my first guitar. You guys
Damn.
said those
Whoa.
same things. That's
There you
funny.
go. I didn't know you shred. Are you in a band?
I am not in a band.
We're looking for a bassist. We'll talk.
All right, we'll talk after.
If you could play bass guitar, contact Heaven's Sake and Mikey Lentz.
Do it up.
Sorry, go ahead.
Worst, one year, me and my siblings, we do like a Pollyanna. We all get one gift for the person we draw out of the hat. And I opened my older brother's gift one year, and it's an iPad. And I'm like, what the fuck? You got me an iPad? Open up the iPad. You know those shirts you would get at the boardwalk? It's this blue shirt with bright green. Come at me, bro.
Yes.
That's like the best present ever.
That was the That was like the legit. There wasn't like, oh, here's the real present.
Here's the
It
real
was like,
iPod.
That's your present.
That was it.
That's some
So-
shitty shit. How do you even buy that during wintertime? You know what I
Really
mean?
good
He had to have
question.
bought that in the
He
summer.
had that
It's a
for
really-
months.
really
He
good
didn't have
question.
a gift, so he said,
just
"Oh,
pulled
which
out
one can I
the
find? Oh, the come at me, bro! I bought it during the summer."
So-
In the box that my
I wasn't
iPad came
happy
in.
about that Christmas gift.
Yeah, he really teased you with the iPad.
I know, right? It would have been bad enough just to get me that sweater.
Well, guys, hope you all have a Merry Christmas. A very happy Hanukkah. Josh, thank you so much
Whoa,
for
whoa,
coming
whoa,
by.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Kwanzaa?
Kwanzaa, too.
All right.
I don't know anyone who celebrates Kwanzaa.
I don't either. I was just I'm being all inclusive.
I was looking around. I wasn't looking at you. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that wrap for episode 2. You might not notice. Got a new little setup here. Everyone said our last podcast episode was too white. Was too white. That's what they said. The background and the big table.
Clarify, please.
No, so we decided to mix it up a little bit. We'll, continue to grow, continue to build. I don't think we're going to be recording next week, but the following week we will have Branded Sports in. They're heading down to the Peach Bowl to college football playoffs down in
nice.
Georgia, courtesy of Game Day Guide. So they will be in studio with us, I believe, January 6th. We have branches lined up pretty much every either Monday or Tuesday, booked through February. So we got a lot of awesome content coming. Josh and myself and the rest of the guys, we are working on a string of promotions and giveaways for the fifth quarter that we'll probably announce later tonight, tomorrow maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But we'll get it out there. Plenty of opportunities to get some free gear courtesy of Fifth Quarter and Design Tree. Again, Josh, thanks for coming up, man. Always like talking to you. Next time we'll have to get Ryan, maybe even Dave up here. We might have to get Dave up here too.
You're gonna need a much bigger table for that. and like you probably only need one speaker.
Right.
Hey, Josh, how about you give us the keyword for this episode? Any phrase, any word you want.
Any phrase, any word. If someone actually watches this entire episode, they will say that keyword to us on Twitter, and we will actually give them a free Fifth Quarter shirt.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna make your life awful right now. You could potentially win this shirt, or this shirt, or that shirt, or this shirt, all from the Fifth Quarter.
Dan, sorry, you're gonna have to edit this.
Stop.
Let's make the keyword. Let's make the keyword giving.
Give it.
Very festive.
Go on.
Festive, in the holiday spirit. That's all we have, unless anyone has anything else. Mikey?
Go listen to Heaven's Sake. Go
All right.
go check out my podcast, All the Crowd Rooms. We out here.
You gonna watch the Eagles game on Sunday?
What time is it?
4:25. Were you not listening earlier in the episode?
I was trying to. I got lost in the sauce. You guys talking about a lot of stuff.
All right, guys. Everyone have a wonderful holiday. I think we're all pretty much out of here after the holiday season rush, and we'll be back to you, Josh. Thanks again for coming
Of course.
on, bro.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate
Talk to you
man.
guys soon.
Was that loud enough, motherfucker? No.
Hanging out at the treehouse.